Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. No spectacular sunrise this morning as there was yesterday because I'm out a little bit later. So we've missed it. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, what I want to talk about today are two things. Hunter's dad. I think this is probably, well, maybe one of the most requested videos ever for me to do, because Jays for Justice podcast interviewed Hunter's dad. Loads of people have said, am I going to do a video on it? And I'm not going to do an entire video on it because, quite honestly, I found it interesting. I found some of it relevant, but because I've never believed that Hunter's dad was ever involved or Jose was ever involved, yeah, but it has cleared some things up. So I hope that the people who did think those things are now going to let that drop. It came across as genuine, believable. Do we absolutely know that he was telling the truth? Of course not. And of course he's going to tell a story that makes his son look good. Of course he is. He's been very protective of Hunter. You know, he wanted to try to get Hunter to go and stay with him originally. That kind of all blew up back in the early days when, he was being threatened. Hunter was being threatened. But now he's in a safe place and I hope he's doing well. Andrew, Hunter's dad, said that Summer was like his little sister. You know, they had a bond because Ali and Candice had a bond. They were like sisters at one point, you know, and it all blew up. As you know, if you've been following the Summer Wells case for any length of time, it blew up in October 2020. In Hunter's words and Ali's words, Candice was literally screwing around with Jose. And Ali was mighty peed off about it, and that's why they fell out. And allegedly, Don caught them in the act, and that's what the fight was all about. I don't know whether that's true. I don't know whether that's an embellishment on Ali or Hunter's part. It's not relevant to the disappearance of Summer in any way. It's one of those pieces of information that kind of gives you an indicator of how the children were living, how Summer and her brothers were living. But it tells us nothing more than that. We know that there's upset in the home. We know that there's been some violence in the home. But that's all it tells us. It doesn't tell us anything else. He did say that Hunter didn't tell the complete truth when he was interviewed by Chris McDonough. He's perhaps told the TBI and the FBI something different that he told Chris McDonough. Andrew didn't elaborate. He said he didn't want to know the specifics until Hunter was ready to tell it. And when he tried to talk about it, he didn't feel that Hunter was ready. Is that true? I don't know. He might know absolutely what Hunter told the TBI and FBI and doesn't want to say, because it'll spark another round of nonsense. And I respect that. I respect his decisions as a father. I think he's very much involved in Hunter's life. You know, although Hunter was the product of a one-night stand, he's still been involved in his life for the entirety of his life. So, of course he wants to protect him. And that's why I won't take what he said as absolute gospel truth. But what I believe is that everything happened after Hunter was dropped off. I don't believe the milk jugs are relevant. I believe that Summer was very much alive when Hunter was dropped off. I don't believe he went back to the Wells home. This is just my belief. Maybe Hunter has said something very different to the TBI and the FBI that would change my mind on that. But what Andrew did say is that Hunter has been cleared. He's been completely cleared. So they looked at him very closely. Of course they would. Andrew believes that Hunter was used as an alibi. Jay brought that up. Did he think that Hunter was being used as an alibi? He said yes. But did it elaborate on it? So all hearsay, all interesting. As I said a while ago, I think we're going to get more people coming out. You know, more of these kind of, you know, sideline players. You know, like the extras in the story. He's not involved. He's not the Andy that Hunter mentioned to Chris McDonough. Jose's not involved. And Hunter has been cleared. I'm going to say I'm happy with those parts of the story. Because the more elaborate theories that have come out about trafficking rings and Andrew and, oh dear. I've stayed away from it all because it grinds my gears. These more elaborate theories, like implicating people who've got nothing to do with the story, really grinds my gears. You know, yeah, have a look at the people that are out there, but some of the things that have been said, I mean, some of the things that have been said about Hunter are absolutely diabolical. But I hope that in him coming out, you know, speaking, has put pay to some of that, hopefully. And yeah, I've never thought Hunter was involved. I've never thought he did anything to Summer. I wholly believe that he thought of Summer as a little sister and that he's absolutely gutted that this has happened. This has happened on the very day that he saw her. He had that final last day with her. You know, splashing about with her. It's really sad. And that's the second thing that I want to talk about. As we know, Ziggy is in Rogersville. And, made a couple of videos yesterday, actually, about the bones, which have absolutely turned out to be animal bones. And just to kind of set the record straight for me personally, because in my short video that I made, the 2-minute video that I made, I did show the pictures of the bones because I could tell they were animal bones. I want to kind of assure people that if they had turned out to be human bones, I would have taken that video down. That's why I kept it really short, just to the point, like, this is what is being claimed. This is the location of where it's being claimed that these bones are. And then I made a later video on this very field explaining everything. I know Ziggy's very upset because, you know, she's been blasted. She made a mistake in believing Fred Hill. He, of course, knew that they were animal bones. And as I said in yesterday's video, I believe Ziggy was set up. Now, it's not like a prank where they knew Ziggy was coming and they can put together a scene that looks like a burn site of a child and they've just put some bones there. No, I don't believe that. I believe what's happened is Fred and perhaps, you know, maybe other members of Ben Hill Road, the other neighbours of Ben Hill Road, have said, look, we're sick and tired of these YouTubers coming. And who can blame them, quite frankly? You know, they've had the bullhorns people there, the heels on the ground people there. They were told to leave. We know that Fred is not happy about any of this. Allegedly, according to another of the neighbours, Fred is going to kill Donald if he mentions his name again. So he's angry. So maybe they know that there's a pile of bones there and they've said, look, the next time these YouTubers come along, we're going to show them these bones and we're going to let them chew on them, so to speak. So although this wasn't targeted at Ziggy specifically, I believe that Ziggy was just an unfortunate, you know, the next person along. You know, Fred probably thought she was involved with these bullhorn people. I don't know. But I do believe that that's what was planned. And I said that yesterday. And, yeah, Ziggy made a mistake. in believing it. The neighbours of Ben Hill Road, they're pranking, they're hoaxing, they're going to make up stories. So how do we really know that anything Fred said to Ziggy is true? He might have made up a complete bull story. We know that Don and Candice like to prank. Maybe it's all a prank. Maybe Fred is actually friendly with Don and Candice. And maybe he's fed the line that I'm going to kill him. And that's a prank. Or that when Fred said that Donald wasn't at work on the morning of the 15th of June, that's a prank. How do we know? My point is, if they're prepared to hoax about bombs, then they're prepared to make up stories about other things. So what I'm saying is, anything that any of the neighbours says from now on, and I do think more of them will come out to talk, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. I might talk about it, I might consider it, but I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. It could all be just a big game to them now. They're sick and tired of the intrusion into their lives, people turning up, people talking about them. Well, sorry to say, Fred, people are going to talk. People are going to talk. They're going to discuss the case, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're not going to be able to stop that. Do I agree with people turning up on Ben Hill Road? No, I don't. I think the neighbours should be left in peace. Could they be involved? Yes. Could they be doing all this to drive people away? Yes, absolutely. Nothing I've heard has cleared, in my head for what it's worth, has cleared any of the neighbours at all from being involved. Have they been cleared by the TBI? Probably. If they have, that's great. That's fine. You know, it'll all come out in the wash. But you're not going to stop people talking and discussing the case. But hopefully there will be some respect to just kind of leave them alone and let law enforcement do their job. Don't go real life. Don't go to Don's work, getting fired off jobs, all that. Absolutely ridiculous. But Ziggy's visit to Rogersville and Kingsport has done one good thing. And I don't know whether she realises this, but her visit to the swimming hole, she did a short live at the swimming hole, and the water receded considerably, and she stood in the exact spot where Summer was paddling. You can match up the branches, you know, the fallen trees, you can match them up and show where Summer was standing was in the vicinity of where Ziggy was filming from. So you can see how shallow that gradient is. You can see that Summer was literally just paddling. When it looked like she was swimming, she wasn't. It was literally inches deep. It was only up to Summer's hips in that TikTok video. And not, as people have said, you know, dangerous things on the ground, drop-offs or holes that Summer could fall into or fall off and drown. I think Hunter was embellishing when he said that he had to jump in and save her. Maybe that's one of the things he wasn't truthful about. But it was very, very shallow. There's nothing that Summer could have got injured on. Yes, she should have been watched closely. Was Candice watching her closely? I hope so. But there's no drop-offs, there's no holes. So this kind of shows to me that Hunter was telling the truth when he said that she was very much alive. Nothing happened at the swimming hole. Very much alive when he left. Telling the truth about that. And I hope this puts pay to the drowning theory. Now, could Summer, while she was paddling about, while she was putting her face in the water, could she have swallowed some water and dry drowning happened hours later? It's highly, highly unlikely, but still, I guess that's on the table as a possible. But I do not believe anything bad happened to her directly at the swimming hole, and I'll stick by that because there's absolutely no evidence otherwise. But I know some people are very wedded to the theory. People in my Facebook group are, you know, some of them are wedded to the theory that Summer was dead on the milk jugs. She wasn't. She didn't drown. Nothing bad happened. She was very much alive. If anybody has ever seen a recently deceased person, will know that summer was very much alive on those milk jugs. But so many people are wedded to the theory. Whatever I say, whatever other people say, you're not going to believe it. So I'm just putting my 2 pennies in for what it's worth. So I think we are inching towards, you know, being able to discount some things, but still we have to be mightily cautious about what people are telling us, because as more people come out, more the waters will get muddied, the more it will spark new theories and stuff. But I think you've just got to keep a level head, got to look at the information for what it's worth, take it all with a grain of salt, but at the same time consider it all. That's my advice to everybody, I think, and I'll call it a day here. So it's nice and warm today. I've come out wrapped up and it's really warm, really warm. It feels more like the end of February, even the beginning of March, than mid-January. It's unseasonably warm. Anyway, goodbye from Miss Tillington. Goodbye from Miss Cassie Springer, who's somewhere. She'll come back, I'm sure. I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.